Hi. Just want to make sure it looks okay. So today I want to talk about, first of all, hi everyone who's coming in. Today I was at work and somebody saw me and another guy eating something, another Jewish person eating something without meat. So he started asking me, like, why are you eating this without meat? Because you usually eat it with meat. So he's like, oh, we don't eat meat in the 9 days. So that got us to talk about why. And for those of you who don't know why we don't eat meat, specifically meat or chicken in the 9 days, is because the temple was destroyed. And this topic is going to discuss what that means and why is it relevant to us. Okay, it's a very interesting topic, guys. So listen. Hi, Serena. Okay, so the topic is about loving your fellow Jew. Basically, we don't eat meat in the 9 days because the temple was destroyed. The temple was destroyed, the Jewish temple was destroyed back, I don't know when, guys, I'm not that knowledgeable, but we remember that by saying we're not gonna listen to music, we're not gonna eat meat, we're not gonna do those things. And the interesting thing about why the temple was destroyed was that it wasn't because people weren't paying attention to God. You know, it wasn't because we weren't glorifying his name and following in his path of, doing what we're supposed to do as Jews, let's say, in the Bible. It was because we didn't love each other. It was because of baseless hatred. This is the essence of why we're in this world. To learn to love each other. Baseless love. The other day I saw this video and it was so powerful, it made me cry. You may have seen it. It was a guy who was trapped under a flaming car in the highway, and there were like maybe 8 or 9 people just trying to lift this burning car up because there was a human being underneath who they didn't know, and each one of them looked like they were from a different nationality. One was white, one was Asian, one was black. I mean, really, it was across the board. And then one guy was pulling out this lifeless looking body, but still who had life in him. He was pulling him out as all these other people were lifting up this burning car. And it made me cry because it made me think of, like, why is it that we think one person's job is more important than another? Sometimes we think like that. I think like that. Sometimes, like, oh, you're more important, you're less important. And we start categorizing people, like who's valuable, who's less. In God's eyes, each one of us has like this amazing value. Just like each one of those people had this amazing ability by working together. I mean, who could say the guy who lifted it up was better or more valuable for this guy's life than the guy who pulled him out? You can't have one without the other. If it wasn't for all of those people lifting up the burning car, that guy couldn't pull out that human being. And if it wasn't for that guy who was willing to pull him out, the guy who pulled him out, he wouldn't have been able to do it if there weren't all those people helping to lift it up. So really, in this world, our job, our mission, I believe, is to recognize each one of us has a purpose. Either it's lifting up a truck, or it's flaming out the truck's flames, or it's pulling out, or it's being the ambulance, or it's something. But we're all part of this picture to save ourselves in this world and save each other, because each person has a divine value, a divine purpose. And I think one way we could help each other find that thought that everyone is divine is by consciously thinking, guys. You see somebody just on the street, you don't know them, or maybe you just met them, even in the elevator. You look at them and you think, you were brought into this world because you have a divine mission. And so was I. But you have a divine mission. I don't know what it is, but I recognize that you're here on this world for a reason. And I think it's so crazy amazing how I was on the bus today and just thinking how Queens is the most diverse community, I think, because there's so many different kinds of nationalities just in Queens. If you go on the Q44, which I was, so I was on the Q44, and there was all these different nationalities, and all I could think of was like, even though we're so different, we're so similar. Like, we all have fingers, we all have eyes, we all have hair, we all have skin, and yet we are all very unique. Like, no two fingerprints are the same. Did you ever think about that? How, like, no two people are the same, but yet we have this underlying current of similarities. And I think the message for me for that is really that God is in each one of us universally, right? But specifically, each one of us has a very specific piece of that puzzle, not similar, not equally the same as someone else. Just like the fingerprints are different, so too our mission is different. So don't ever think that you don't have a mission. Don't ever think that your mission is not valuable or less valuable, let's say, than someone else's purpose. Or he looks like, wow, he's got a lot of things that he's got. He's a big prominent person, or she's got a lot of, wow. Each person, you right now, you watching, yes, you have a beautiful divine mission. And when do we really see God? Is when we put those pieces together. Those thumbprints come together. How? Through helping people, by lifting up that truck together, by working united. And that happens from baseless love, because you're not judging, you're loving. They're two separate things in my book, I think. Because only I think the real place of judgment is in God's place, right? Only He really understands judgment. But yet He chooses for us to recognize love instead of judgment. That's when He's present, not when we're judging, because our judgment is poor. Has anyone ever been to court? Because the judge in human judging is really sad. It's not real, I think. It's very limited, and they try as hard as they can, but they're really just people. Really, it's God who can judge. We can just love. We're very good at that if we just allow ourselves to take away the barriers of judgment, you know? So that's basically why I came on tonight. I think my kid is crying, so I'm gonna go. He's teething. I love you all. Violet, I love you too. You're so sweet. And please recognize your fingerprint in this world. And if you don't, you maybe need to value yourself a little more, because it comes from loving yourself first. I'm a big proponent of loving yourself. Go look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you. You're worth it. And if I'm not good enough today, doesn't mean I'm not valuable. Doesn't mean I'm not needed, because you came to this world the day I read this quote. It's so amazing. My baby stopped crying, it seems. I think my husband took over. He gave up on me going. I read this amazing quote. And it said, the day you came into this world was the day God decided the world cannot be without you. So I was thinking, so what happens the day you die? I think the day you die was the day God decided your mission is complete. And perhaps your memory is a legacy now. So what we do now is a memory for our future. It's a legacy for our life. So whatever you do, recognize your value. And it starts with that. When you recognize yourself, you can recognize your husband better. You can recognize your kids better. And I need to work on all of that. You can recognize your stranger, neighbor, whatever, better. Because each one of us, even like the old Asian lady on the bus who smells like, I don't know, no, she smells good. She doesn't smell bad. Or anybody. Even those people. And think about that. I mean, like, how many people we see that we're just like, whatever, they're just other people. Each one of them was brought into this world for a mission. We don't know what it is, because we have like this very narrow view of what the world is. We just see our side. But the world overall, each person has amazing capabilities and power. If we just tap into it, amazing things can happen. I work at New York Presbyterian, Queens. Shout out to all my NYP coworkers who keep saying amazing things are happening here. I just had to say that because it's a running joke at my hospital. That's their slogan. Amazing things are happening here. But in any case, amazing things are happening inside you if you open up and share that gift. And I want to say one more thing. God gave each one of you and me a gift beyond measure that cannot be compared to anyone else. And the only way to really know that gift is to share it. Think about that. Think about the musician who has a gift to play music. Where's his talent? His talent lies in sharing it. His talent lies in showing people this beautiful music. Look at the artist. When do people recognize his gift? When does he know his gift? Really, when it's shared with the world. Look at Emily Dickinson. Her beautiful poems, she's talented at poetry, comes from the value and sharing of that value. Does that make sense? So if you have a gift, whatever you know you're good at, it only compounds when you share it. I think that's what God wants from us, to share our gift. It's not just to keep it to yourself. Are you good at sharing things with your caringness? Share your caring. Are you good at just finances? Help others with that. It's all about bringing the world closer together with just kindness and goodness through our talents and gifts. So I just wanted to share that with you. And if you have a talent or a gift, please drop it in the chat here. I would love to see that and read that, because I believe each one of you need to start recognizing your value and your gifts in this world to know how to use them. We have to first recognize we have them. So if we have a car in the backyard, we don't know it, we'll never know that the keys we're holding in our hands are to drive the car. We have to actually look around and say, there's an actual car in my backyard. That's mine. I get to use it if I recognize it's there. Otherwise, I don't even know what the heck these keys are for. Right? Makes sense? All right. Love you guys. I'm really going now. So have a great day. Bye.